Hello YouTubers, welcome back to Rich Reviews. On my last video I did a comparison on two 18 volt hammer drills that I have, the Ridgid hammer drill and my Ryobi. And I did a little comparison as far as specs and features that they have and whatever. Today I'd like to do one on two 12 volt drills. Now, one of which you might recognize if you watch my reviews, because it is a Ridgid 12 volt drill, which I've already done a review on. And I'm going to compare that and actually do a little test between that and the newest member to my family and one of my favorite power tools, period, Milwaukee. Now this is the Milwaukee M12 drill driver. It is not the brushless, it is not the fuel or anything like that. This is their basic 12 volt drill. I love Milwaukee tools. I always state in my videos that in terms of the best power tools out there, this is it. In my opinion, Milwaukee makes the best power tools on the market, period. The only reason I don't have any is they're usually pretty expensive, and being a homeowner, just don't feel the need to have expensive tools like that are just for household use. Which is why I love Ryobi so much. They offer so many tools at great prices, and the quality of the tools is awesome. But I've stated it before, in terms of overall durability and everything else, these are the best power tools on the market. And this is my first Milwaukee that I've owned. So what I want to do is I want to do a little test. I'll go over some of the features of this first. First of all, you can see, pretty compact. This came as a kit. So in the kit, I got obviously the drill driver itself. Hold on for a minute. I also got the Milwaukee M12 multi-tool. And I bought a set by Ridgid. This set here, and this has all sorts of blades and sanding and whole kit just for the multi-tool. And that was on sale. I think it's still on sale at Home Depot for $40. I mean, pretty good. You get a lot of pieces in there. And then also with the kit came a bag and two of these 1.5 amp hour batteries. So some of the features of the drill, let me take this out. As always on all my videos and all my drills, you've seen this. Doesn't come with it. This is just a quick connect. I always put those on my drills. This has an all metal chuck, unlike most of the 12 volts and a lot of other drills, 18 volt too for that matter, have a plastic chuck. This has a metal chuck for a 12 volt drill, so that's pretty good. It has 19 clutch positions, 20 if you want to count the drill mode. It has a 2-speed gearbox. I have it on one. There's two, pretty standard. Has an LED light right here, and will stay on for a few seconds after you release the trigger. It did come with a belt clip. It actually came with it already on the tool, but I took it off. I typically don't use those anyway, so I didn't really need it. Oh, it also has a fuel gauge right on the tool itself, right here, so when you press the trigger to turn it on, you'll see the lights. 4 lights naturally means that the battery has a full charge. As they dim down, you'll know that the battery needs to be charged. Oh, that's the other thing I forgot to mention. It came with a M12 charger also. So that was also part of the kit. So the whole kit, it came with the drill driver, it came with the multi-tool, 2 batteries, 2 of these, a bag, and the charger, and it was 99 bucks. They had it a 1-day only online sale, so I got it on there. I really got it because of the multi-tool. That was one of the tools I did not have and I wanted to get, and I was thinking of getting the Ridgid multi-tool until I saw this deal. And once I saw I could get in Milwaukee for $99 along with this, that was a no-brainer. So I opted for that. I didn't really need the 12-volt drill. I have a Ridgid. As if you've watched my videos, you've already seen that. But I gotta admit, this has surprised me because the rating on the torque rating on this is 275 inch-pounds of torque. Compared to the Ridgid, which that's a monster for a 12 volt, it puts out 400 inch-pounds. You saw the demonstration I did on that, driving in a 4-inch lag. Well, today I'm going to do another demonstration with that and with this and see which one does it faster or which one can even do it, period, with a 4.5 inch. So I'm going to use this beast right here. Okay, that is a 4.5 inch lag, 1/4 inch thick shaft. So this thing's a beast. It's going to be a beast for even an 18 volt. So we're going to see how these 12 volts really do. I already know what to expect from the Ridgid. This is a 1/2 inch bigger than what I drove last time, so we're going to see how it does. Curious to see how this is going to do, being it's considerably less torque, but it is a Milwaukee, and I know these are heavy duty, so I'm guessing it's going to do pretty good, but we'll see. So I have a setup here. I'm going to move the camera down to show you. So right here, this is a 1.5 inch thick by 11 inch wide board. As you can see, I got it clamped down so it doesn't move when I do this. Now I'm going to show you right here where I'm going to be screwing into. There is no pre-drilled hole. Okay, as you can see, it's totally solid. So without pre-drilling a hole, I'm going to drill right into this. So we're going to do the Ridgid first. I'm going to see how that does. Now, one of the differences between these two is the Ridgid has 17 settings on it, not counting the drill mode, but it's got 17 clutch positions, where the M12 has 19 clutch positions, and of course the drill mode. You can see comparison of the two. The Milwaukee, when it stands, is a little more angled up than the Ridgid is. It's a little bit longer if you look at it that way, and like I said, this has a metal chuck where this has a plastic chuck. Again, the LED lights are pretty much the same, and they're both in the same spot. You can see that. They both stay on for a few seconds after you release the trigger. I believe the Ridgid stays on a little bit longer. Yeah, about, I don't know, about 5 seconds longer or so before that. Yeah, there it goes. Now, the one other thing I like about the Ridgid a little more is they both have the rubber overmolding, as you can see, but the Milwaukee's overmolding is kind of smooth. It's just a real smooth rubber overmold. However, the Ridgid has this, get a close-up of this, has this textured hex grip. Now you can see the difference. It's smooth on the Milwaukee, and it's got this hex grip on the Ridgid, and it makes it a little easier to grip. You know, I think this is less likely to slip out of your hand than this, even when you're sweating. They both have the gearbox on the top. You know, they're both set on 1, so that's at their highest torque rating. Speed 2 would be to drive in screws quicker, but on a lag screw like I'm going to be using, you're not going to want to use 2. You're going to want to be on 1. I have them, well, I guess to make this fair, since this has more settings on it, I lowered the Milwaukee, I lowered it down to 17, the same as the Ridgid. Like I said, this has 2 more torque settings on it than this does. So I want to do a real fair test. They are both set on 1, and now they are both set on 17 as far as the torque rating. So we're going to see how these things do. Put that there. I'm going to take our bit. So we're going to do the Ridgid first. So let's see how it does. Alright, there you go. So that was the Ridgid. Take the bit out of here. Alright, let's see how Milwaukee does. Now again, keep in mind, the Ridgid is rated at 400 inch-pounds of torque. This is rated at 275. So we're going to see how this does. Get it started. Alright, here we go. Well, okay, now here's the thing. I didn't realize it, but there's a knot right here. Pretty much right where I'm drilling into. Let me see if that's really what the issue is, and we'll try to do it with this. Maybe it's the angle. Okay, so I'm going to try this again, but I kind of went in a little screwball on that because it was going in on an angle, so I don't know if maybe that had something to do with it, but I'm going to give it another fair test. So we're going to do the Milwaukee again. Let's try and get it a little straighter this time. Okay, here we go. Alright, well, to be fair, like I said, the first one with the Milwaukee, first of all, I went in on an angle. I really wasn't paying attention to it. And secondly, there is a knot right here. I don't know if that probably had something to do with it, because even the Ridgid wouldn't get it in all the way once I tried it. So to be fair, I figured let me give another test somewhere else away from this knot. The Ridgid did drive it in quicker, and you could feel the torque difference on the 2 drills. Or at least I could, you know, from doing it. This kind of clutched out, so to speak, you know, on there. I don't know. Let me see how the Ridgid would do if I keep trying to go with this. Oh, wrong way. It's spinning it, you know, the clutch is not disengaging, that's for sure. Now if I set this a little higher, set the Milwaukee all the way up, let me see if that makes a difference. Yeah, it does a little bit. You can see I actually used 1 bar just on that. That's a big screw to be putting in with a 12 volt. So to be fair, like I said, you know, you're talking about one that's rated at 400 inch-pounds versus one that's rated at
275 inch-pounds, even though it's Milwaukee. But they both did drive them in. So no matter what, speed-wise or whatever, it's still very impressive for a 12-volt drill. But anyway, that's the comparison I wanted to do. You can see these next to each other. You can see how the Milwaukee is a little more angled up, so to speak, than the Ridgid is. And it's because of that, I think it's a little bit taller. But pretty much the same features on both. You know, they both have the 2-speed gearbox. The Milwaukee does have 2 more settings for the torque rating. They both have the LED light right underneath the clutch. You know, so they're pretty much the same in that aspect. But again, either one is a good choice. You know, they're both extremely strong. I mean, they're actually stronger than some of the 18 volts out there. So pretty impressive for little 12-volt drills. But I just wanted to do a comparison and give you a little test and show you what to expect from them if you do happen to get them. Well, anyway, this is Rich Reviews signing off. Tune in for the next one. Take care.